Hello everybody, here we are today doing a 2023 season recap for the Edmonton Elks as we continue on with this series. And before we get into that, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or the CFL, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. So the 2022 Edmonton squad ended up going 4-14 and once again missing the playoffs. 2023 was a year that kind of felt like a continuation of 2022 where there was reasons to be optimistic. I feel like that 2022 side had a lot more grit than the 2021 side, and I feel like 2023 saw more addition of some talent and some other pieces onto this roster, and they were hoping, while maybe a playoff appearance wasn't likely, that they could build off of a 4-14 campaign and get maybe 6-7 wins. However, things didn't start well at all. In fact, it was historically bad. This side had never gone worse than 0-6 to start a campaign. Ended up going 0-9 through their first 9 matchups. And to know that you're winless through half of your season has to be frustrating, but at the same time, too, to know that no other team in franchise history had done so, while also knowing that your playoff hopes are likely done up to that point, just has to feel like everything's going against you. And to be honest, it got to the point where on Instagram, where I do a lot of posts and stuff about the CFL, I couldn't even find photos of those old Edmonton sides that, were there at that time, because we didn't have any photos to compare them to because of the fact that this team was truly in their own category. Now, I will say there were a couple of close losses to Saskatchewan in the first half of the year, one of those being a 13-12 game where I really thought they were going to be able to get the job done and Saskatchewan was going to get handed a loss. However, didn't happen, and it was frustrating. Also frustrating too was the fact that Taylor Cornelius did not have a good start to the year. Cornelius, I'm not trying to say, is completely to blame for this team's struggles. However, this is a quarterback that had a 2-year deal where the money wasn't, crazy cheap. It wasn't like a rookie deal or anything, where he had 4 touchdowns to 9 interceptions as this side really floundered and was not where they wanted to get. Then you have somebody like Trey Ford that's sitting on the sidelines and you're saying, man, this is a really enticing young quarterback that Chris Jones doesn't seem to want to play. We've already been shut out twice in the first half of the year. Why don't we go to him? And again, with the CFL and how the quarterback situation is and just the stat situation is, I don't want to say that these are just stats that you can live by and die by, but things did seem to get turned around a bit as Ford, over the final 9 games for the team, threw 11 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, had 600 yards rushing, and the team went 4-5 over their final 9 games. So to go from 0-9 to 4-5 in 2 separate halves of the season, to finish with again the same 4-14 record, not great, but you're thinking maybe Ford could be part of the future. As Cornelius, again, what is his future going to be like in the CFL? Tough to say. Now, was everything perfect in those final 9 games? No, it wasn't. They allowed 35 plus points on 5 occasions over that final stretch of the year and ended on a 4-game skid. They seemed hopeful. They were 4-10, and then myself included, everybody was just like, can they go 8-10? Like, what's going to happen here? Is this something where we could see them go to the playoffs? Didn't happen. They allowed a lot of points. The defense, especially the rushing defense, was pretty atrocious. They allowed the second most rushing first downs against in the league. They were the worst for rushing yards, I believe, in rushing touchdowns allowed for the season. And the pass defense wasn't exactly incredible either. Special teams was sort of a problem as well. I know you guys probably remember, if you watched my CFL free agency video where I kind of did a recap of some of the major news, we talked about how Dean Faithfull probably wasn't going to be the kicker that the Elks needed him to be necessarily, and that they were going to rely on for 2024 after seeing 2023. There's a few things to take away. He went 22 for 28. That's nothing terrible, but if he had kicked 3 more field goals, maybe we're not even talking about this. In fact, I know we're not talking about this, but I think a lot of this kind of stems from the fact, too, I don't know if they were super trusting of him to be able to kick longer field goals. I think he may have kicked one 50-yard field goal this year, didn't convert it, and then he had 13 attempts of 40-plus yards. He was 10 for 13 in that category, and I might be wrong here, so don't trust me here. You might have to go through every single game log and see, but I'm pretty sure a lot of those were like 45 yards and under, maybe even just about 41 or 42 yards. And they end up getting Boris Beatty, which we'll talk about again in our season previews in the coming probably month or so. But still, Dean was a person that had a couple bad games that I'm not saying totally cost them the game, but they probably could have used some extra points on those occasions and maybe get impacted by that. So 2023, pretty disappointing. Again, I think for a lot of Edmonton fans, they're saying, just take me back to like 2015. this was a side that was really, really good for a very long time, won a lot of Grey Cups, and it just feels like everything's changing for this team in the past 4 or 5+ years, and even before that. And I know for a lot of older fans, it has to be very difficult to see this once proud franchise struggle on the field, and then everything with attendance and all that. But I feel like, again, 2024 should be better than 2023. I said that I thought 2023 should be better than 2022. In terms of record, it wasn't, but in terms of what I feel like is going forward for them, I think it was 2024. Like we've said, again, with free agency, I think they'll be better, and I think special teams will be a factor in that. And I would say that confusion, poor leadership, and an inability to execute were huge factors into why this team wasn't able to get a better record than they did. I don't know what's going to happen with McLeod Bethel-Thompson or Trey Ford starting in this season. Again, I think kind of MBT will have those reins, but I will say that while 2023 is another year that you kind of want to just get the shovel and bury it, 2024 is going to be a year where I say go buy some tickets, watch a team, and hopefully you have a better reason to go out and watch those games than you did before in seasons past. So anyway, what are your thoughts on the 2023 season for the Edmonton Elks? I will get out some other videos next week. This week has been absolutely crazy. I have all the notes done for Hamilton, Montreal, and Ottawa, but I'm not able to record them today to get these out. But anyway, a lot of season recaps next week, and then we'll be getting on to some other stuff. So please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe and have a great night.